In a land where the sun and moon danced eternally, there was a kingdom unlike any other. This kingdom, known as Elaria, was nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, where flowers bloomed by day and glowed by night. The people of Elaria lived in peace, thanks to a magical garden hidden deep within the kingdom. This was no ordinary garden, but a moonlit garden, where the trees and flowers bloomed only under the gentle glow of the moon. Legend said that the garden was tended by a mysterious figure known as the Keeper of Whispers, a being who listened to the quiet thoughts and dreams of all who entered. The people of Elaria rarely ventured to the garden, for it was said that only those with pure hearts and a true purpose could find it. But those who did find it were never the same. The garden had a way of healing, of offering answers to questions that had long been forgotten. And so, it remained a place of wonder, wrapped in mystery. In a quiet village on the edge of Elaria lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was curious and bright, always asking questions about the world around her. But Isla had one question that no one could answer. Where did her dreams go when she woke up? Every night she dreamed of a beautiful garden bathed in moonlight, where flowers whispered secrets and trees glowed with silver leaves. Yet every morning the dream faded like mist, leaving her with only a sense of longing. One evening, as the stars began to appear, Isla sat by her window, gazing at the moon. It was a full moon, bright and round, casting a soft silver glow over the village. As she stared, she noticed something strange, a path of silver light stretching from her window, leading toward the distant hills. Ila's heart raced with excitement, for she knew at that moment that the path was calling to her. Without a second thought, she slipped on her shoes, wrapped herself in a warm cloak, and quietly left her home. The path of light shimmered before her, and as she stepped onto it, the world around her seemed to change. The air was cooler, but not cold, and the stars above twinkled brighter than ever. The path wound through fields and over streams, guiding her toward the moonlit garden of her dreams. As she walked, the night seemed alive with magic. Soft breezes carried the scent of jasmine and lavender, and the leaves of the trees glowed with a faint silver light. The path grew narrower as it led her into a dense forest, where the trees were so tall they seemed to touch the stars. Isla felt no fear, only a deep sense of peace, as though she were being welcomed by the forest itself. Finally, after what felt like hours of walking, she reached the edge of a great meadow. In the center of the meadow stood the moonlit garden, exactly as she had seen it in her dreams. The garden was surrounded by a stone wall with a single archway leading inside. Beyond the archway, Ela could see flowers of every color, their petals glowing softly in the moonlight, and trees with silver leaves that shimmered with every breeze. Taking a deep breath, Ela stepped through the archway and into the garden. The moment she entered, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. The air was filled with the soft sound of whispers, as though the flowers and trees were speaking to one another in a language only they understood. Ela wandered through the garden, her heart full of wonder. Every flower seemed to glow with its own light, and the trees hummed with a gentle melody that filled the air. She stopped by a small pond, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the full moon above. As she knelt by the water, she saw something curious, the reflection of a figure standing behind her. Startled, she turned around and found herself face to face with the Keeper of Whispers. The Keeper was a tall, elegant figure, draped in robes of silver and blue. Their face was kind, with eyes that shimmered like starlight, and their voice was as soft as the breeze. "Welcome, Isla," the Keeper said with a smile. "I have been waiting for you." Isla's heart fluttered. "You know my name?" The Keeper nodded. "I know all who seek the Moonlit Garden, and I know your question, the one that has brought you here." Isla's eyes mean about my dreams? The Keeper's smile deepened. "Yes, child. You wish to know where your dreams go when you wake, and the answer lies within the garden. Come, let me show you." The Keeper beckoned her to follow, and together they walked deeper into the garden. The whispers grew louder, but they were gentle, like the sound of wind through leaves. The Keeper led Ela to a grand tree at the heart of the garden. Its trunk was silver, and its branches spread wide, covered in glowing leaves that shimmered like stars. "This is the Tree of Dreams," the Keeper said softly. "It is here that all dreams are born, and here that they return when the night is done." Isla stared in awe at the tree. "My dreams come here?" The Keeper nodded. "Every dream is a story, a whisper of the heart, and this tree gathers those whispers, keeping them safe until they are needed again. Some dreams stay with us, while others drift away, returning when the time is right." Isla stepped closer to the tree, feeling its warmth. She could hear the faint sound of laughter, music, and soft voices coming from the branches, as though the dreams themselves were alive, waiting to be remembered. The Keeper placed a gentle hand on Isla's shoulder. "You have a special gift, Isla. You can hear the whispers of dreams, and you are meant to share them. That is why the Moonlit Garden called to you. The world needs dreamers like you, those who listen and understand." Isla's heart swelled with emotion. "But how do I share the dreams?" The Keeper smiled kindly. "By telling their stories. Every dream has a story to tell, and every story has the power to bring light to the world. You will know when the time is right. Until then, trust in the whispers." Isla gazed up at the Tree of Dreams, her mind filled with the beauty of the garden and the gentle wisdom of the Keeper. She knew she would never forget this moment, and that the garden would always be with her, no matter where she went. "Thank you," she whispered, feeling a deep sense of peace. The Keeper bowed their head. "Go now, Ela. The path will always be open to you. And remember, the dreams will always be waiting." With one last look at the Moonlit Garden, Ela turned and followed the path back through the forest. The silver light of the moon guided her, just as it had before, and soon she found herself at the edge of her village once again. As she stepped back into her home, the stars still twinkling above, Isla felt the warmth of the garden in her heart. From that day forward, Ela became a storyteller, sharing the whispers of the dreams she had gathered from the Tree of Dreams. And every night, when the moon rose and the stars filled the sky, she would gaze out her window, knowing that the moonlit garden was always there, waiting for the next dreamer to find its secrets.